Welcome! Today, we're diving into the basics of rent receipts. If you've ever rented a home or apartment, you might have come across this term. But what exactly is a rent receipt, and why is it important? Whether you're a tenant or a landlord, understanding rent receipts can help you keep your financial records in order and avoid misunderstandings. In this video, we'll break down what a rent receipt is, its key components, and why it matters for both parties. Let's get started by defining the term and exploring its purpose in rental transactions. A rent receipt is a written acknowledgement that a tenant has paid rent to their landlord. It serves as proof of payment and typically includes details like the amount paid, the date, and the rental period covered. This simple document can be issued in paper form or electronically, depending on the agreement between the tenant and landlord. Rent receipts are especially useful for tenants who pay in cash, as they provide a clear record of each transaction. For landlords, issuing receipts helps maintain accurate records and demonstrates professionalism. A standard rent receipt contains several important pieces of information. First, it lists the names of both the tenant and the landlord. Next, it specifies the address of the rental property. The receipt also includes the amount paid, the date of payment, and the period for which the rent applies. Additionally, it may mention the payment method, such as cash, check, or bank transfer. Finally, the landlord's signature or stamp is often added to validate the receipt. Including these details ensures the document is clear and legally useful. Rent receipts play a crucial role in the rental process. For tenants, they provide proof that rent was paid on time, which can be helpful in case of disputes or for future rental applications. For landlords, receipts help maintain organized records and demonstrate transparency. In some regions, providing rent receipts is a legal requirement, especially when payments are made in cash. Even when not required, issuing receipts builds trust and helps both parties avoid confusion about payment history. Depending on where you live, landlords may be legally required to provide rent receipts, especially for cash payments. In some countries or states, tenants can request a receipt at any time, and landlords must comply. These laws are designed to protect tenants and ensure transparency in rental transactions. If you're unsure about the rules in your area, it's a good idea to check local regulations or consult a legal professional. Staying informed helps both tenants and landlords avoid potential legal issues. Today, rent receipts can be issued in both paper and digital formats. Paper receipts are traditional and can be physically stored, while digital receipts are convenient and easy to organize. Many landlords now use email or property management software to send receipts electronically. Both formats are valid, as long as they contain all the necessary information. Choosing the right format depends on the preferences of both the tenant and the landlord, as well as any legal requirements in your area. A rent receipt should be issued every time a tenant makes a rent payment. This is especially important for cash payments, but it's a good practice for all payment methods. Issuing a receipt immediately after receiving payment ensures that both parties have a clear record of the transaction. Some landlords provide receipts monthly, while others do so upon request. Consistency is key to maintaining accurate records and avoiding disputes. Both tenants and landlords should keep copies of rent receipts. Tenants may need them for proof of payment, tax purposes, or future rental applications. Landlords use them to track income and maintain financial records. Storing receipts in a safe place, whether physically or digitally, helps ensure they're available when needed. It's a good idea to organize receipts by date and property for easy reference. Let's take a look at what a typical rent receipt might look like. At the top, you'll find the title, Rent Receipt. Below that, the receipt lists the tenant's name, landlord's name, and the property address. The main section includes the payment amount, date, and rental period. There's also a space for the payment method and any additional notes. Finally, the landlord's signature or stamp is added at the bottom. This layout helps ensure all necessary information is included. For tenants, rent receipts offer several advantages. They serve as proof of payment, which can be crucial if there's ever a dispute with the landlord. Receipts also help tenants track their expenses and provide documentation for tax deductions in some cases. When applying for a new rental, having a history of rent receipts can demonstrate reliability to future landlords. Overall, keeping rent receipts is a smart financial habit for any tenant. Landlords also benefit from issuing rent receipts. Receipts help landlords maintain accurate records of rental income, which is essential for accounting and tax purposes. Providing receipts demonstrates professionalism and transparency, building trust with tenants. In the event of a dispute, having a clear record of payments can protect landlords legally. Overall, rent receipts are a valuable tool for managing rental properties effectively. When rent is paid in cash, issuing a receipt becomes even more important. Unlike electronic payments, cash leaves no automatic record. A rent receipt provides both the tenant and landlord with proof that the payment was made and received. This can prevent misunderstandings and protect both parties if questions arise later. Always insist on a receipt for cash payments and make sure it includes all the necessary details. With the rise of online banking and payment apps, many tenants now pay rent electronically. While these transactions generate their own records, it's still a good idea to issue a rent receipt. The receipt serves as an official acknowledgement from the landlord and can be useful for both parties' records. Some property management systems automatically generate receipts for electronic payments, making the process even easier. If a landlord refuses to provide a rent receipt, tenants should politely insist on one, especially for cash payments. In some places, it's a legal right. If a receipt is still not provided, tenants can document the payment themselves and keep any supporting evidence, such as bank statements or witnesses. It's important to communicate clearly and keep records to protect your interests. Losing a rent receipt can be stressful, but there are steps you can take. First, ask the landlord if they can provide a duplicate. Many landlords keep copies for their records. If that's not possible, gather any other evidence of payment, such as bank statements, canceled checks, or electronic payment confirmations. Keeping digital copies of receipts can help prevent this issue in the future. Rent receipts can play a role in tax matters. In some regions, tenants can claim tax deductions for rent paid, but only if they have proper receipts. Landlords also need receipts to accurately report rental income. Keeping organized records of rent receipts helps both parties comply with tax laws and avoid issues during audits. Always check local tax regulations to understand what's required. There are a few common mistakes to avoid when dealing with rent receipts. Sometimes, receipts are missing key information, like the payment date or amount. Other times, receipts are not issued consistently, leading to gaps in records. It's also important to avoid handwritten receipts that are hard to read or lack a signature. Ensuring receipts are complete, clear, and consistent helps prevent problems down the line. To get the most out of rent receipts, follow a few best practices. Always issue or request a receipt for every payment, regardless of the method. Make sure all required information is included and that the receipt is easy to read. Store receipts safely, either in a physical folder or digitally. Regularly review your records to ensure everything is up to date. These habits will help you stay organized and avoid disputes. Many landlords and tenants use rent receipt templates to make the process easier. Templates ensure that all necessary information is included and that receipts are consistent. You can find templates online or create your own using word processing software. Some property management platforms also offer built-in receipt templates. Using a template saves time and reduces the risk of missing important details. While templates are helpful, it's important to customize rent receipts to fit your specific situation. For example, you might add fields for late fees, security deposits, or other charges. Customizing receipts ensures they reflect the terms of your rental agreement and provide all the information both parties need. Just make sure any changes are clear and easy to understand. Sometimes, rent receipts are used to document payments for security deposits. In these cases, the receipt should clearly state that the payment is for a security deposit, not regular rent. This helps avoid confusion later and provides proof that the deposit was paid. Always keep receipts for security deposits until the end of the tenancy and the deposit is returned. If a tenant makes a partial rent payment, the receipt should specify the amount paid and note that it's a partial payment. It's also helpful to include the remaining balance. This ensures both parties are clear about what has been paid and what is still owed. Accurate documentation of partial payments can prevent disputes and confusion. If a late fee is charged, it should be clearly indicated on the rent receipt. The receipt should show the rent amount, the late fee, and the total paid. This transparency helps tenants understand any extra charges and keeps records clear for both parties. Always refer to the rental agreement to ensure late fees are applied correctly. In situations where multiple tenants share a rental, each tenant may pay their portion separately. In these cases, it's important to issue individual receipts to each tenant, specifying the amount paid and the tenant's name. This ensures everyone has proof of their own payments and avoids confusion about who paid what. Rent receipts aren't just for residential properties. Businesses that rent office or retail space also use rent receipts to document payments. These receipts may include additional details, such as the business name and tax identification number. Keeping accurate rent receipts is important for business accounting and tax reporting. Rent receipt practices can vary widely from country to country. In some places, receipts are mandatory for every payment, while in others, they're less common. The required information and format may also differ. If you're renting or managing property internationally, it's important to understand local customs and legal requirements regarding rent receipts. Storing rent receipts digitally is becoming more popular. Scanning paper receipts or saving digital copies in cloud storage ensures they're safe and easy to access. Organize receipts by date and property, and back them up regularly. Digital storage reduces the risk of loss and makes it simple to retrieve receipts when needed. If you prefer paper receipts, store them in a safe, organized place. Use folders or envelopes labeled by year and property. Keep receipts away from moisture and direct sunlight to prevent damage. Regularly review your files to ensure all receipts are accounted for. Good organization makes it easy to find receipts when you need them. Many property management platforms now offer automated rent receipt systems. These tools generate and send receipts automatically when a payment is received. Automation saves time, reduces errors, and ensures receipts are always issued promptly. Both tenants and landlords benefit from the convenience and reliability of automated systems. Mobile apps make it easy to create, send, and store rent receipts on the go. Many apps offer customizable templates, digital signatures, and cloud storage. Using a mobile app streamlines the process and ensures receipts are always accessible. This is especially useful for landlords managing multiple properties or tenants who travel frequently. Unfortunately, rent receipt scams do occur. Some scammers issue fake receipts or alter payment records. To protect yourself, always verify the details on each receipt and ensure payments are made to the correct person or account. Landlords should use secure methods to issue receipts, and tenants should keep all supporting documentation. Staying vigilant helps prevent fraud. If a dispute arises over rent payments, rent receipts are invaluable. They provide a clear record of what was paid and when. If there's a disagreement, both parties should review their receipts and supporting documents. If necessary, mediation or legal assistance may be needed. Keeping thorough records helps resolve disputes quickly and fairly. Good communication between landlords and tenants is key to a smooth rental experience. Rent receipts are part of this communication, providing transparency and clarity. If there are any questions about payments, receipts offer a starting point for discussion. Open, respectful communication helps build trust and resolve issues quickly. How long should you keep rent receipts? It's a good idea to retain them for at least a few years after the tenancy ends. This allows time for any disputes or tax matters to be resolved. Check local laws for specific retention requirements. Keeping receipts organized and accessible ensures you're prepared if questions arise later. Rent receipts contain sensitive information, so it's important to keep them secure. Avoid sharing receipts with unauthorized parties and store them in a safe place. If you're using digital storage, use strong passwords and encryption. Protecting your records helps prevent identity theft and fraud. Landlords have certain obligations when it comes to rent receipts. In many places, they must provide receipts upon request or for cash payments. Failing to do so can result in legal penalties. Landlords should familiarize themselves with local laws and ensure they meet all requirements. Providing receipts is a simple way to fulfill these obligations and maintain good tenant relationships. Tenants have the right to request rent receipts, especially for cash payments. In some regions, this right is protected by law. If a landlord refuses, tenants can seek help from local housing authorities or legal services. Knowing your rights helps ensure you receive proper documentation for your payments. Let's walk through a sample rent receipt together. Imagine a receipt with the tenant's name, landlord's name, property address, amount paid, date, rental period, payment method, and landlord's signature. Each section is clearly labeled and easy to read. This example shows how a well-prepared receipt looks and why each detail matters. At its core, a rent receipt is a simple document that acknowledges payment of rent from a tenant to a landlord. It acts as proof of the transaction and helps both parties keep accurate records. Whether in paper or digital form, rent receipts are an essential part of the rental process, providing security and transparency for everyone involved. Proof of payment is a fundamental concept in financial transactions. In the context of renting, a rent receipt serves as this proof, confirming that the tenant has fulfilled their obligation. This documentation is important for resolving disputes, applying for new rentals, and meeting legal or tax requirements. Always keep your proof of payment safe and accessible. Record keeping is the practice of maintaining organized and accurate records of financial transactions. For both tenants and landlords, keeping rent receipts is a key part of good record keeping. These records support tax filings, resolve disputes, and provide a clear history of payments. Developing strong record-keeping habits benefits everyone involved in the rental process. Legal compliance means following all laws and regulations related to rental transactions. Providing and keeping rent receipts is often part of these requirements. Both landlords and tenants should be aware of their legal obligations regarding receipts to avoid penalties and ensure smooth rental relationships. Staying compliant protects everyone's rights. Transparency in rental transactions means that both parties have access to clear and accurate information. Rent receipts contribute to transparency by documenting payments and terms. This openness builds trust and reduces the risk of misunderstandings, or disputes. Transparent practices benefit both tenants and landlords. To wrap up, rent receipts are a simple yet powerful tool in the rental process. They provide proof of payment, support good record keeping, and help both tenants and landlords meet legal requirements. Whether you're paying or collecting rent, always use receipts to protect your interests. By following best practices and staying organized, you can ensure a smooth and transparent rental experience. Thank you for joining us as we explored the ins and outs of rent receipts. Remember, whether you're a tenant or a landlord, understanding and using rent receipts is essential for financial security and peace of mind. Stay informed, keep good records, and always prioritize clear communication. If you follow these guidelines, you'll be well prepared for any rental situation.